Do I like Street Fighter 4 more or Street Fighter 5? I like both. There was issues, I think, with both games. Like Street Fighter 4, people remember very fondly, but I remember at the end of the game, people were talking so much shit. They were so over Street Fighter 4. And then now Street Fighter 5 comes out and people are like, ugh, how do you not love the beauty that was Street Fighter 4? I played it at EVO, and the last year that Ultra was there, that was the only time I ever played Street Fighter EVO, actually. I made it out of pools and winners. Trust me. I don't think you wanted Ultra to live longer than it did. I think people would have realized to the extreme degeneracy of Elena. She was already like decently popular when she came out. The Ultra characters were extremely janky. I think Ultra was not the best version of that game, and I think given more time, we would have realized how degenerate and stupid a lot of the Ultra characters were. All their hurt boxes were really fucked up. They all had really, really fucked up hurt boxes. How is Ultra not a good game? It had delayed wake up. That was like the laziest solution to trying to fix unblockables ever, right? Ultra wasn't worse than AE 2012. Why do you think AE 2012 was bad? I think AE is bad, but AE 2012 I thought was pretty good. Super's fine. Of all the versions, probably AE 2012 was the best. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, they didn't get it right on the first try. Super was better. Then AE was all fucked up, so then they patched it, and they're like, all right, 2012 is pretty good. Then Ultra came out and it had some big issues, and they're like, well, it's time for the next game. I think Street Fighter is the only game where people didn't realize they were cheering for unblockables. That's probably true, yeah. I'll never forget that time where I was talking to somebody about Ibuki versus like Shotos in Street Fighter 5. In Street Fighter 5, getting hit by Ibuki is so fucked up because every time she hits you, it's like a 50-50. And I was like, it might be a 50-50 and it might be hard to see. But like when you got hit in Street Fighter 4, you got unblockable by Ibuki. So like, isn't it better to have a 50-50 than like a straight up unblockable? And they're like, no. And I was like, it's harder emotionally. Yeah, Ibuki's unblockable was rough too because she would do the super jump light kick, and then if you try to like get out, she could OS neckbreaker or something to catch something. It was pretty brutal. You know what's funny? I was like, hey, I want to learn Ibuki. And the local Ibuki player, Gabe, was like, oh, you want to learn Ibuki? I got you. And he sent me the document. There is a spreadsheet of unblockables. It was every single setup against every single character. And it was like, does this unblockable them? Yes, no. Does this safe jump their move? Yes, no. Can they escape it? If so, with what? It was fantastic. It was really, really great. Elena was good for like half a year and then everyone figured her out. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen written. Elena is extremely powerful. And it's not like she got figured out or anything like that. She was so fucking good. What are you talking about? Yeah, the only event Elena didn't do fantastic in is maybe Capcom Cup. Maybe. Why you just gotta come in here and make shit up? If you don't know what you're talking about, it's fine. You should look at the arcade tournament results, especially in Japan. Oh my god. To this day, when people play Street Fighter 4 in Japan, it's like Elena is just brutal. That being said, Elena's not even the biggest issue with Ultra, right? It's how many janky hurt boxes there end up being and how much of a band-aid Delayed Rise was to dealing with the actual unblockables in the game. What made Elena so jank? She just didn't get hit by anything, first of all. Like her hurt box was absurd, so she just like dodged everything. She had a ridiculously powerful 3-frame jab that went super, super far. She could heal herself in a game where her Ultra is a healing mechanic that's tied to taking damage. She dumped bar really well. She had ambiguous setups off of her knockdowns. Yeah, her jab turned into a hard knockdown. High damage, actually, in a lot of situations. Fast, unreactable overhead. Her EX Mallet was like 15 frames or some shit like that. It was -3 on block, unreactable, and tough to punish. I mean, Ultra was still a fun game, I think, but probably not the best version of Street Fighter 4. Gouken was so cool. Gouken was he was just a fireball. That's all he was. You know, in SoCal, there was like, obviously a very good Gouken player and a very good Rose player. Watching Gouken versus Rose made me feel so bad. That was like one of those moments where it's like, man, your character really only has one good thing. I remember there was like a setup with Rose that was like back throw, walk, jump, medium kick, and it was like an unblockable against Guy and some other character. I think it was like Filipino Man was doing that setup, and I don't know if he knew it was unblockable right away, but once he found out, he was like, oh, are you serious? I can just back throw unblockable with Rose? A jump normal was unblockable? Yeah, there's plenty of unblockables in Street Fighter 4. Oh, do you have a Street Fighter 4 unblockable? I'll click this, Ricky. Is it gonna be just this big fat, it's a little loud. Is it just gonna be this big fat jump heavy kick or something? Sweep. Oh, heavy kick stomp. Yeah, sweep, jump heavy kick here. Damn, he's gonna do it again. Sweep, jump heavy kick. Dead. Just EX flash kick, so that way you whiff the opposite direction and then Ryu punishes you. That's unblockable? Yeah. He got a really good setup off of stomp in the corner. He can double dash jump or sweep into jump heavy kick. This is unblockable. He blocks it in the front. He gets hit. So he's gonna block it cross up this time. Yeah, it's not blockable. The way it works is like as you switch from blocking one side or the other, your character will get hit the opposite direction because of the way the hurt box moves. That's how it works. People always say like you can wiggle at the last second to try to block it or something, but like it doesn't work. The best way to try to get out of most of the unblockables was to mash focus dash, or if you do something like back dash or forward dash or something, like hope that you can fuck up the setup in some way. How did this not get fixed immediately? This was in the game forever. From people started using them more and more in Super and AE and then AE 2012. And then in Ultra, they tried to fix it by including delayed wake up, but you could just like make a setup that allows you to see the delayed wake up and then adjust accordingly. Maybe you wouldn't still get your unblockable, but you could get a setup. Like Ibuki would go for her setup and jump, and if she saw that you delayed wake up, she'd throw a kunai, and it would change the timing of the setup to still hit you immediately. It'd be like that. What can you do? Oh well. Has Ibuki never ever not had bullshit? No. She is that kind of character. She's tight though, dude. She's a ninja. You gotta let her rock.